The word puppy brings lots of pleasant images into our heads. Small, furry, lovable, forgiving, happy animals who are too excited to sit still are some of the few. This is the case for most puppies, but not Harmony. Harmony is a puppy from the puppy mill. She's about this size and had a hernia the size of a grapefruit, which is about this. So that's a really big hernia for a small dog. And her kennel chose to continue to breed her, and so all of her internal organs fell down into her hernia sac. So as you can imagine, this would cause Harmony much pain and much agony, and she had no veterinary care for it or anything like that. Her story, unfortunately, is a common story for animals that are in puppy mills. Puppy mills are becoming a commonly known problem in the United States. They are causing genetic problems, behavior problems, and death in many dogs that need to be stopped. Today I'm going to explain to you what a puppy mill is, why it needs to be stopped, and how to stop it. As stated by sfspca.com, a puppy mill is a breeding facility that doesn't care about the welfare of the animals, but cares about making profit. They put the profit ahead of the welfare of the animals. They don't care about the disease, the socialization, the overcrowding, and the filth. They don't care about inbreeding or genetic disorders. They don't care about who adopts the puppies or wearing out the breeding mom. They only care about making money. There's no exact date when puppy mills started. They became more common after World War II when there was a widespread crop failure in the Midwest region of the United States, and so the USDA started advertising purebred puppies as a cash crop for the farmers whose crops have failed. They began to make chicken coops and rabbit hutches and transform them into cages and places for the dogs to live. The pet stores around that area started to boom from these new mills. There are a lot of puppy mills that are operating all over the United States. There are 7 states, though, specifically that are called the puppy mill states, and the states are Missouri, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, and Arkansas, and Iowa. The puppy mill industry in Missouri alone makes over $40 million a year, and there are 500,000 puppies that are sold from pet stores in the United States alone. So that's a lot of animals that need our help that are being mistreated and neglected. The largest broker to the pet stores is the Hunte Corporation, and in 2002 they sold over 85,000 dogs alone. 90% of pets that you're going to buy from your pet stores come from puppy mills. There's a few that still breed the nice way, but most of them buy mass from the puppy stores. These numbers are only going to keep growing if we do not find a way to stop them. Puppies are bought for our companionship, and it's our job to take care of them. They don't ask to be brought into our lives, they don't ask to be brought into the world, and so it's our job to take responsibility for them. Harmony's story was a light story compared to some of the brutal circumstances in puppy mills. The care that's given to them is very small, if any. The hereditary conditions that are passed down to some of these puppies that you and I might buy from the stores and take home from the stores happen because the breeders fail to remove the sick dogs from the puppy breeding pools, and they pass to the puppies that get sent to the stores that you and I might want to take home to become as part of our family. Some of these conditions are epilepsy, heart disease, kidney disease, musculoskeletal disease, diabetes, blood disorders, deafness, eye problems, respiratory disorders. And some other diseases and infirmities that some of these dogs come to the pet stores with are Giardia, Provo, distemper, upper respiratory infections, chronic diarrhea, kennel cough, pneumonia, mange, fleas, ticks, intestinal parasites, and heartworm. Some families come to pet stores looking for a happy companion for their family, and they leave and their pet dies a few months later, breaking the family's heart because of some of these diseases that are brought from the puppy mills. Most dogs at puppy mills are kept in small wire cages, sort of like this. This is a big wire one. But in a cage like this, there can be from 10 to 12 puppies shoved in this small cage, and that causes them to fight and it causes them to become mean. Here's a picture of one in a puppy mill. It's a cage about this size, and there's probably 7 or 8 puppies in this one little cage. Some of the dogs never even get to touch solid ground. They've never touched grass. They don't get to run and play because they're kept in these cages all the time. Like in this small cage, you can fit almost, it looks like there's like 5 stuffed animal puppies in here, and that's probably about how many puppies are stuffed in one at a puppy mill. You see the wire cages. Some of these cages are stacked on top of each other, and the dog's legs get stuck in these bottom of the wire cages, and they're forced to be ripped off on their own, or they're cut off by their breeders. So many dogs that are rescued from puppy mills only have 2 or 3 legs because of this. This just in itself takes away the image of a happy puppy in my head. And a lot of times in the wintertime and in the summertime, they're left in these cages, and as you see, there's no insulation for the winter, and there's no fans or air conditioning on them in the summertime. And a lot of the dogs cook on these cages and are found dead because the wires are so hot and they die from the heat, or they freeze to death in the winter. When you find a dog from a puppy mill, a lot of them have ulcers in their eyes, their hair is matted down, they're filthy. A lot of dogs' teeth are rotting so bad that their jaws have begun to rot off. The female dogs are sometimes bred till they can't breed anymore. They are bred the very first time they go into heat, and every time continually after that. A female dog at a puppy mill lives to be about 5 years old, because after they can't be bred anymore and their bodies can't produce puppies anymore, they dispose of them either by bashing them over the head, shooting them, or just sending them to like a humane society or something like that. The physical state of a puppy when rescued from a puppy mill is very bad, and part of this reason is because the nutritional value they get is very little. The dog food that comes to the puppy mills are brought in by big truckloads from dog food companies, and most of the food that is made from scrapings off the floor, and they just sweep up what's left of other dog food and they pack it together and sell it to these puppy mills because they don't want to spend a lot of money on the dog's food. So this leaves a lot of the dogs very malnourished. Another horrific thing that I found out about puppy mills is the dogs who are bred there that have to stay there all the time are debarked. And this is they take a metal rod and shove it down the puppy's throat until they rupture their vocal cords, so they don't have to listen to the puppies barking all the time in the puppy mills. This place is bringing in tons of money because they're not spending the adequate amount of money on food, housing, veterinary care, and stuff like that. These are all reasons and more that we need to bring an end to puppy mills, because these are horrible facts. So you might be asking, how can I bring an end to puppy mills? How can I stop this? The mass production of puppies at puppy mills is from us buying them from pet stores. If we stop buying them from pet stores, they will breed less and less puppies every year, and some will be forced to shut down. PrisonersOfGreed.org gives us a really good list of examples of how to shut down puppy mills and pet stores. One way is by educating people like I am educating you now. If some people don't realize what's happening in these pet stores and what's happening to these puppies, and so they continue to buy from pet stores, if people are educated and they know, then they will have that knowledge and be accountable for that knowledge. Also, don't buy your puppy from a puppy store, and if you do, make sure you look at their registration and where they come from, and look into where they come from. You could also protest a pet store, which sounds kind of extreme, but it would stop the puppy mills. You can send an email to the puppy mill state representatives, the 7 states that are called puppy mill states, and tell them that you won't come to their state unless these kennels are shut down. You could put an ad in your newspaper educating consumers in your area. You could print and hang flyers around your area educating people. You could put a billboard up or schedule a presentation at your school or in your community. Also, you can vote or send an editorial to your newspaper. You could also send letters to pet stores and inform them that you will not buy puppies from their pet stores. There are over 2,000 to 3,000 USDA licensed breeders in the United States. There can be from 10 to 1,000 puppies in each one of these breeders. That's a lot of puppies that need our help and that need to be rescued. Also remember that if you buy from a breeder online, this also may be coming from a puppy mill, because breeders that care about their puppies aren't going to give them to some stranger. They're going to want to know whose family they're going to and that they're going to a loving family. So make sure that if you're buying from a breeder online, you're educating yourself and you're looking where they're coming from and you're finding out if they're coming from a place like that. My last story is about a puppy mill from B&J, Missouri. The dogs were out in the summer and in the winter. Lots of litters of puppies died during the summer, and they died during the winter time, cooking on these wire cages like this one. The boxes that they were kept in were wooden boxes, little as this one, were like sweat boxes in the Midwest sun. The dogs walked on uncoated wires. You see how this is like coated with a kind of like a wax. These wires were just plain wires, and they had to walk on uncoated ones. The female dogs that were rescued from there had so many C-sections that their internal organs had grown together. One dog rescued was kind of like some of the examples I gave, had 3 legs because its leg was ripped off in a wire cage like this one. So all of these are horrible examples of how we would not want our companion to be treated. And now you're informed, and you can inform other people about the horrific things that are happening in these puppy mills, and you can spread the word to stop buying from pet stores, and you can end the misery for these animals. Every person is important in the cause for these animals because these animals have no voice, and every person can do something to be their voice and help their cause. So don't buy from pet stores, and make sure you're doing your research before you buy your animals.